Hey guys, welcome to the final round of the Canada Classic from Banff Springs. We come into this one tied for 11th on the leaderboard after missing the cut of the West Coast Invitational. 4 under, 5 under, and 5 under in the first 3 rounds has put us at 14 under. Mama's Basement and the PGA Tour is proud to present the final round of the Canada Classic from beautiful Banff, Canada in Alberta. So we are tied for 19th as we get our round underway here today on hole number 1. It's a 411-yard par 4 to begin the day off the tee with a driver. Not much breeze on the day. And we get into that driver pretty good, over 300 yards. So a good way to start off the tee box. Second shot from 103 yards with a 60-degree wedge. And that one's going to land softly, but a little bit far, leaving us 29 feet for a birdie. And the putt downhill is going to roll past the right side of the hole. So coming back uphill, the 7-foot putt for par. And we are able to sink that one. Hole number 2, 162 yards. It's a par 3. We've dropped to 22nd on the leaderboard. Flagstick at the front of the green here today, 162 yards with a 9-iron. And a very nice shot on shot number 1 of hole 2. Puts us within 3 feet for the birdie. And so we pick up the birdie there on hole number 2. Hole number 3 is a 523-yard par 5. We have moved up near the top 10 of the leaderboard. Again, this is the tournament that we won last season. So we are the defending Canada Classic champions, trying to defend that title today. First shot on the long par 5. Middle of the fairway. Second shot with a 3-wood. And that one looks like it is bending to the left and to the left side of that bunker. From 40 yards, a beautiful little pitch onto the green and in very good position for the tap-in birdie. So 2 birdies in a row here in round number 4. As we get set for hole number 4, it's a par 3, 184 yards with the wind being fairly calm. The pond in front of the green should not come into play. And we're at 16 under. Elevated tee shot with an 8-iron. And that one is headed for the flagstick with a little backspin. And we're going to be in pretty good position here for our second shot. A 10-foot putt for birdie. Breaking from left to right. And it just did not break enough. Coming back uphill for par from about 3 feet. So we par number 4, we head to hole number 5. Beautiful 421-yard par 4. Twisting slightly to the left. We are now into the top 10, tied for 7th. 421 yards away from the flag on shot number 1 with the driver. And it is going to hold the right side of the fairway. 295-yard drive. Second shot from 154 yards out with a 9-iron. Pin located in the back of the green. And we're going to end up just off the fringe. A little chip from 8 yards out. And we're going to have to settle for a par on this one. So we're through 5 here in round 4. 16 under, tied for 7th. As we head to hole number 6, it is a short par 4, 370 yards. Super wide fairway. Feels like hitting it onto a football field. And the drive eclipses the 300-yard mark, leaving us a very short approach from 67 yards. And we get a little too much into the approach. It's going to be a tough birdie putt from 29 feet out, breaking from left to right pretty sharply. And we just do not get enough on that one. 7-footer for par. Dangerous putt here. Breaking from left to right. And a perfect stroke. Buries that one. That was not an easy 7-foot putt. A lot of break on it. Hole number 7. Nearly 600-yard par 5. I believe it's the longest hole on the course. Trying to play a draw. On the first shot off the tee. Second shot from 308 yards. 3 wood. And this one isn't quite going to make the green, but it's going to leave us a pretty little chip from 39 yards out here. We're actually going to pitch it onto the green and bounces past the hole and comes to a stop. 10 feet for birdie. Breaking from left to right and sloping away from us, and we can't get the same kind of touch that we had on our last putt on the last hole. And it leaves us a tap in for par on the par 5, so we miss an opportunity to gain a stroke there. We are tied for 10th, so we head into hole number 8. It's 147 yards. Par 3, little pond on the right side of it, bunkers behind the green, with a 9-iron. And it looks like we have plenty of club to carry the water, a little too much as we find the rough in between the two bunkers on the back side of the green. Here's the pitch from 26 yards, and that one is going to roll past the hole and off the other side of the green almost. In fact, I think it did roll off, just barely off the green. So we're going to chip back on. Not a good hole. For bogey from 7 feet out, and we do bury that putt for the bogey coming back uphill. So we lose a stroke, and we are tied for 17th. We're 15 under, 1 under on the day. Hole number 9 is a par 5. We get set to hit the driver off the tee. And that one's fading left, and it's going to finish off the fairway. Second shot, 221 yards. And that one has got plenty of carry. And a nice shot there from the rough. Going to leave us a 24-foot putt for eagle. Breaking from right to left and sloping downhill, and we run it past the cup quite a ways. So losing our touch a little bit here in the final round. Back uphill 11 feet for the birdie. And a very nice putt there. I guess if you can save birdie, that would be saving birdie right there. 220-yard par 3 for hole number 10. We're tied for 12th now on the leaderboard. First shot from 220 yards. Trying to draw it into the flag, and it's got a little too much on it. It's going to end up in the pond. So we have to take a 1-stroke penalty. Here's the third shot from 68 yards. And that one is going to fly the green as well. And we're losing our composure a little bit here on the final round of the Canada Classic. We are 1 tournament ahead of the Masters. So if we're going to get some jitters and lose our composure, let's do it now and not next week at the Masters. We drop another stroke there. Tied for 25th. Actually, we dropped 2 strokes on the double bogey. First shot down the left side of the fairway, just over 300 yards. Second shot 107 yards out with a 60-degree wedge. And we get a little bit of backspin on that one. As you can see, us tied for 25th on the leaderboard. Here's a 16-foot putt for birdie. And it drops from 16 feet out. As we pick up a stroke there, we are back to tied for 16th. At 15 under on the tournament, we're going to continuously flirt with that top 10 position. It would be nice to finish top 10. 448 yards out. The drive leaves us 155 yards to the flagstick. Got to get it around those tall pine trees on the right. And the 9-iron is going to take a hop off the left side of the green and into the bunker. So this one straight uphill out of the bunker is going to take a lot. And call that a Viagra shot. It just ain't getting up. From 7 yards out, the fourth shot of this one. Finally able to get it out onto the green, leaving us a short putt for bogey. So again, losing our composure a little bit here on the back nine. We are still within range of a top 10 finish. Starting to look like defending our Canada Classic Championship might be a little bit out of reach. On the par 3, 238 yards with a hybrid. And this one is looking good. And it's going to snuggle right up there close to the flagstick. 5-foot shot for birdie. And the putt just breaks too much to the left. A big opportunity missed to birdie that one after a very good shot off the tee box. Hole number 14. 453-yard par 4. With the driver, wind blowing from right to left. And we split the fairway nicely, over 300 yards on the drive. With a 9-iron on our approach. 156 yards out, wind blowing from right to left. This one's headed for the flagstick. And it goes over it and onto the fringe where we will chip it for an off the green. And we sink the chip from 7 yards out. We hole out on hole number 14. So we are at 15 under, tied for 19th. 1 under on the day. 467-yard par 4 from an elevated tee. Wind is blowing at us a little bit, and that will hold this one up. Still from the elevated tee, we eclipse the 300-yard mark. With a 9-iron now on the approach. Flag is on the front left side of the green. We leave it a little bit short, but it's going to leave us an uphill putt breaking from left to right. And we got plenty of speed on the putt. And it's a good thing it was on line because that one was hit a little bit too firmly. So we birdie that one, hole number 16. We are at 16 under as we come down the home stretch of the final round of the Canada Classic. First shot with the driver, another 300-yard drive. 60-degree wedge on the approach. This one's going to have some backspin, and it's going to roll back right near the hole. A perfect approach shot, and we're just going to tap this one in for another birdie. So we're making a late charge for the top 10 as we are tied in 9th. On hole number 17, this is a par 4, 356 yards. And off the tee, we split the fairway again. It's going to leave us a pretty straightforward approach shot. Slightly elevated green up ahead of us, 59 yards out with the wedge. And looks like we, again, put a little bit too much into it. 35-foot putt for birdie. Downhill breaking from left to right. It looks like we got pretty good speed on that one finally. but it catches a downhill slope. We got 6 feet left coming back uphill for par, which we make. So heading into the final hole, we are at 17 under, tied in 9th place, trying to hold on to a top 10 finish on this 501-yard par 5. 3 under on the day. First shot off the tee. Pretty narrow landing area up here, but we're able to hold on to the fairway. Second shot with a 3-wood, 260 yards out. See if we can reach the green in 2, and it looks like we're going to. And this one's going to roll right up by the flag, and just a little bit past it. It's going to leave a 7-foot putt for eagle, and it just barely breaks too much to the right. We're going to tap in for birdie, and we will finish our day at 18 under for the Canada Classic tournament. It is not going to be enough to defend our Canada Classic championship, but as we simulate here, we'll see if it's enough to hang on to a top 10 finish, and it is. We finished this one tied for 18th. Tiger Woods wins the tournament at 22 under. Up next is the Masters from Augusta National, and based on our performance, we have received an invitation to compete in that. As we look at our statistics to date, 54th on the money leaders, 65th in the FedEx Cup and the World Golf Rankings, 46th. Up next will be the Masters, and I believe I will do full coverage of all 4 rounds. And it might be a couple of weeks before I get the rounds up, but I'm going to upload them when all of them are completed so that I can upload them in 4 consecutive days. So that is my plan with the Masters. I'm excited for it. Look forward to the Masters in episode number 12 of our PGA Tour career, year number 2, here on Mama's Basement.